We are close to the human limits.
185.
Far from the platform because there was a problem.
You promise.
You arrive to 160, you are short in the equalization.
So, first of all, welcome Andrea to my next interview of Freediver Your Life. Thank you for having time. For you out there, Andrea has a lot of specialties, and as you know, he's very well known as maybe the guru of equalization. This is how I would call you as well. This is why I'm here as well, to train with you and to benefit from your knowledge. And at the same time, what you don't see right now, Andrea actually is very successful in no limits diving, and his last record was down to
185 meters.
185 meters.
Yes.
Yeah, 185. It's quite impressive. And even before, when I'm just looking over there, he was at 155, 175, and you just...
Yes, and just increase slowly.
And you increase slowly. So, as I told you as well before, I'm very interested in how you're handling specific situations. And if I'm just thinking about these steps, okay, they are extremely deep, okay? Not only for me, but for other people as well, if they see that. What makes you going that deep?
But probably the fact that I'm running freediving world, and so we are specialized in the use of the sled. I have a lot of athletes during the years coming for training. For me, it's easier and it's often available the sled in the water. So sometime also after that, some of the athletes finish to train and jump on the sled, they can do a dive. And I developed in the last probably almost 10 years many different skills and all my protocol for the equalization. For me, the equalization is, let's say, easy, and that's why the combination of the chance to go often on the sled and the equalization together, they allow me to dive deep.
Okay. So they allow you to dive deep, and what's the reason that you go that deep? I mean, 185 meters is not any depth.
It just look. Sometimes the people, they don't understand what I mean, but it's just practice. Okay. For some other, it looks an amazing depth. For me, it's a deep dive, but it's nothing so special, because through the training and through the repetition of the dives, then you get more and more confidence to dive deeper and deeper. And I don't find any difficulty to do it, and I don't find myself scary to go in a deep dive.
Okay. So if you talk about being scary or feeling scary, what was the last situation you felt fear?
Well, let's say that while I was training for the 185, we faced several problems. That was a little bit unexpected, because the target of the last season was 200 meters, was not 185.
Okay.
And then I decided to stop in 185 because I faced some problem and the safety level was decreasing, so I decided to stop in 185.
Okay.
So during the dives, the last season, that for the first time I was using the goggles, I recognized that the narcosis level was increasing a lot comparing to the 2 years ago when I did the 175 with the mask, without almost feeling any narcosis. Instead, with the goggles, the narcosis was much stronger. So in a couple of situations we had some, let's say, small accident, but in the end, also in that situation, probably more the people in the team than myself have been scared, because I was in the water dealing with the situation, and I never get scared and say, oh shit, today I'm not going to make it. And instead, who is not with me and is just waiting me outside, they don't know what is going on. So if there is a delay, there is something that doesn't work, I don't arrive and say, where is Andrea? And in the same time I was swimming, so I know that I was coming back on surface, far from the platform because there was a problem, and instead they don't. But in all of that, in the moment, I was not scary. Maybe just after realizing what I risked, that time I've been lucky.
So you felt a little bit of fear afterwards?
Yes.
But not in the moment
Not
itself.
in the moment, no.
But how is it? I mean, you we all feel sometimes fear. When did you feel fear? Or when you, I'm pretty sure you felt fear in a specific moment because
but
of
not
all
during
your...
the dive.
Not
during
during
the dive, never, because for me, every time that I go for a dive, I go for that dive, even if I knew depth,
Okay.
with the idea that I can do it. And not because I want only self-confident, yes, I can do it, no, but because the result of the previous training dives was giving me the idea that I can do it, okay? I give you an example. I mean, if you arrive to 160 and you are short in the equalization, for sure, if you go for 170, you're going to be scary to don't manage the dives.
Okay.
Instead, if you close the 160 comfortable, with room for the equalization to improve, then next dive, you're not scary to approach the dives.
Okay, so if I get it right, it's about repetition dives and getting closer and closer to your goal, or maybe a limit as well.
Yes, definitely is to, let's say, reinforce on yourself your ability and build up the awareness of what you can do it.
Okay.
And often how you arrive there. You are not scary in 180 meters. No, because it's not one day that you wake up and for mistake you arrive in 185 meters. Okay. Before I mean, my first no limits season was in 2009, where I did the Swiss record in under 20 meters. Now we are 10 years later. So I did the under 35 variable, and did the under 55 no limits, and the 75 no limits. And last year I did 3 dive in under the 85, more in under 70, in under 60, under 50. I mean, I never counted, but I have more than 100 dive below 100 meters.
Okay.
So all this repetition give me, let's say, the feeling of what I can do it, and that's why I'm not scary. Okay? Because you're not going for something that is unknown. I know perfectly what is going to happen.
So, but you just said on your training for your record dive, some things happened that weren't planned.
Yes.
Kind of. Okay, let's get just back into one of the situations. And just imagine, I pretty think there were below 100 meters maybe, some things that happened.
Yes.
How do you handle your mental capability in rocking the situation, so actually mastering it?
Look, let me tell you the story. I was realizing during the training dives that the narcosis was a little bit strong, much stronger than what I was expecting. And as soon as I arrived to the bottom, I have a protocol to follow. That was open the first tank, release the weight, open the second tank, then start the ascending, close the first tank, close the second tank, and take the ascending position. And to arrive to do all of this, I needed several dives, a little bit shallower than a deep dive. And then I need hours just dry with a fake sled, just repeating the movement to create the mechanical protocol. So in this way, I don't need to think, it was automatic. Okay. And then I use one computer called Rurka that is talking while you're descending and while you're ascending, and you can set different information. For me, the important was to have a referiment while I was ascending which depth I was, because in 30 meters I need to release the sled. And with the goggles, even if they are the best that you can, but the line is not in front of your eyes, you are facing the blue, so you don't see where you are. And if for some reason you miss the safety that is not coming perfectly in your face, you don't see it. So I need the Rurka telling me what depth I was. And in the beginning of the season, I decided to have 3 alarm. It was 50, 40, 30. Okay. So with the 50, let's say, yes, I wake up a little bit more. In 40, I get ready to release the lanyard. In 30, I release the sled.
Okay.
And but on the training, I realized that the 50 was a little bit too late, because anyway you are going up 2.5 meters per second. So from 50 to 40 to 30 is nothing.
Couple of seconds.
So I decided to add 1 alarm in 70. And that day was a 185 meter dive. So I reached the bottom, I did my protocol, I started ascending. I heard the first alarm, I heard the second, I released the sled.
So you released at 50 and at 30?
Yes.
Okay.
And the problem was that one of the safety was in 30 waiting for me, not in 50. And coming back from 185 meters, there are already a lot of bubble all around the sled. And that day there was a tiny current, so the moment that I released the sled, I lost the line. And I started to drift far from the line, and I couldn't find the line anymore.
Because you detached your
the
lanyard
lanyard,
as well,
because the lanyard is above the sled.
Mm-hmm.
So the moment that you need to leave the sled, you need to detach the lanyard. And the CVT, he couldn't see me, because it was this big mess of bubble. So he went back on surface. So the sled arrived on surface, the CVT arrived on surface. The rest of the team asked, "Where is Andrea?" I don't know. And at the same time, I was in the middle of nothing, far from the line, without the fins, and the only option was swim back on surface in constant no fins. So I started to swim, trying to turn around to see if I could see the line, because going free immersion is much easier to have a referment. Mm-hmm. But I was keep spinning like this until I reached the surface, and then I realized that I was something like 25-30 meters far from the platform.
Okay.
Was a little bit hard on surface, but I managed. I didn't get blackout, I didn't black samba, and then they came to help me to swim back to the platform, and then I did all my normal protocol.
But it sounds lucky, because you just said you arrived on top and you could look around.
Yes, and let's say I've been lucky because finally, I mean, coming back from 185 meters, I did 50 meters of constant no fins. Mm-hmm. And now, I've been lucky because I left the sled in 50. But if for mistake I leave the sled in 100,
and you detached your lanyard as well. And
yeah. So that was one of the reasons why we decided to try to go forward.
Okay.
Because provide the safety was a little bit more difficult.
Okay.
And the next dives anyway, I put one extra safety in 60 meters with the scooter. Mm-hmm. So I was passing him, and then keep going until the 30, where there was another safety, and then finally release the sled. Okay. But there was another problem that we faced. I got a couple of dives, even not to the maximum depth, where I get some DCS symptoms, some neurological symptoms. I was finishing the dive, easy, clean, no hypoxic, nothing, but I was trying to look at the computer and I was trying to focus. I can see the number, but it was difficult for me to understand what I was reading. And even if the view outside was a little bit weird, then I take the oxygen tank and I go down for the decompression like I used to do after all the deep dives in 6 meter breathing pure oxygen. Mm-hmm. And like after 15-20 minutes, everything back to the normality. Okay. But after surface, I went back to the deco chamber to talk with the Dr. Adel, that is the doctor that I talk with every time that I have some doubts or any problem, and he told me the problem was DCS symptoms. Okay. So the problem of the DCS and the problem of the management of narcosis pushed me to decide to stop and don't try the 200 meter dive. Okay, good. Yeah. You happy about this? Good decision? Let's say that the rational part of me is happy because rationally is what you're supposed to do it. Mm-hmm. The athlete's part was the target of the 200 meter. And you know, when you train like for 12 months heavy with a target where you almost every day train several hours, you don't go too much out for dinner, you don't go for party, and the day off you stay home because you need to rest and all this kind of thing. And then you are there, you know that you can equalize deeper, you know that your lungs they can manage a deeper dive, you know that you can hold the breath longer, but you decide to stop. It was difficult decision. Okay, and how is it right now for you? Nothing. I know that I cannot solve the problem because I think that we are close to the human limits. Mm-hmm. Then a lucky dive, you can have it, and maybe you can do the 200 meter dive, you can do the 215 like Herbert, or you can be unlucky and then get some heavy DCS. Yeah. And I don't think that the game have the value of the life. So. Okay. And you the second deepest. Yes. Freediver in the limits then, yeah, with 185. Yes. Okay. So now I'm thinking about as well. I mean, it's a national record as well for Italy, and yes. I don't think somebody's coming close to it. I don't think so in a short time. In a short time. How is it for you? Did you feel any expectations coming to you from the media or from the outside, or maybe even expectations regarding your the freediving world that you
have to manage to get this record?
Not really. I mean, the 90% of the reason why I was looking for this dive was for my personal ego.
Okay.
And I feel that I'm a competitor person. Okay. I always did any sport for competition.
Okay.
And so in this case, I like freediving and I like to give to myself a target. Why to freedive, why to push myself to dive deeper and everything. And so now I decide to stop for the no limits, but it doesn't mean that I stop to do something else.
Okay. If you just say this, well, as your most of the records are no limits, variable weight as well.
Yes.
What makes you not compete into free immersion, constant weight?
Let's say that is I'm a lazy freediver.
You're a lazy freediver.
And no, this is a joke. But on no limits and variable, I can still do some nice deep dive. Instead, in free immersion or constant, I should need to train more. And with the management of the center and my job that is providing workshop all around the world, I don't have enough time for training. So for a constant deep dive, you need a different amount of hours of training. You cannot train just in the room of the hotel when you go somewhere. I mean, it is something scheduled in the proper way.
Okay.
And so or I work or I train for a deep dive. And the work is more important, so
okay.
I work.
So it's the question of priorities as well,
Definitely.
what you focus on.
Yes.
Okay. When I'm thinking about your records as well, you just told me about you like satisfying your ego. Is it okay for you that your ego wants so much from you?
Yes, I mean, why not? When I do this kind of thing, I enjoy. Okay, I'm not stressed because I need to satisfy my ego. Okay, it's my ego, and my ego is myself. So I like to push myself, to give me to myself a target, and this is the reason why I wake up every morning early to do my training, to do the gym, spinning or whatever, and keep training and to keep myself fit.
Okay, so even if I'm watching competitions, okay, I see many freedivers still, even though they're like one of the best in the world, most of them, or a couple of them, are still really having issues with equalization. Yeah, we just now with the dive eye, it's quite nice to see what they do, and if they stop in relaxation as well, which is a major part. When we're just thinking about people beginning with freediving, and they maybe even have a competitive mind as well, and they want to satisfy their ego too, what would you recommend them to start with for freediving?
Well, let's say that for me, the equalization is one of the key points of freediving, and is what actually the instructors they have less average. Okay. There are many instructors that have good knowledge about how to train, how to prepare the planning for a long-term training, about the physical training, the ability to hold the breath, to manage the hypoxia or the hypercapnia. But there are not so many instructors and athletes aware of how to equalize or how they equalize, and then again how to teach. Yeah. And in the end, what I can see really often, there are athletes with amazing performance, like in dynamic. I mean, we have now people that arrived to 300 meter in dynamic, and on depth, the same athletes, they are not so strong. Yeah. And because the limitation is the equalization and the physical relaxation.
For a deep dive, if you just talk about this, because, well, I'm from Germany as well, so we don't really have access to the sea. But you just gave me, as I'm your student at the moment, okay, you gave me a lot of exercises I can do at home. So do you think to become a good deep diver and to bring nice performance in deep diving, you have to live close to the sea, to have a frequent training on depth?
Allora, I cannot lie and I can say it's going to be easier. Because especially under the physical relaxation point of view, be in the water, and especially have the chance to be in the water without give yourself a target, and working to improve the relaxation, not improve the depth, is going then in automatic helping you to dive deeper. Okay. About equalization, instead, I really believe that with the new protocol that we develop and with the new tools that we have, it's possible to train almost to the 95% dry and maybe in a swimming pool, and then be able to put in practice everything in the deep dives.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that.
I wish you, and I hope that you can manage.
Okay, cool. Just 2 more questions for you. The first question is, what is success to you right now?
But for me, in this moment, let's say the success is what I'm creating about the equalization. Soon will be announced an agreement with the DAN, the insurance, everybody know, and because we will publish in the beginning 3, then will become 5-level courses about equalization for non-divers and non-free divers. That means the people that daily they need to have access to the deco chamber for medical treatment, and basic diver and basic free diver. Okay. And then we will have other 2 advanced courses for free divers. So now we start teaching the trainer will start to teach the instructors, and we will spread the knowledge about the equalization. Okay, so there's actually a real program coming to learn equalization on a so finally level. We will have a structured program and didactic about equalization, starting from 0 to the maximum depth. That's very good news. That's very good news. Last but not least, I'm very interested in what really makes you happy. So can you just point out 3 things now in your life that make you happy? But, first, the result that I got in freediving, because when I started freedive, I thought, okay, one day I want to arrive to achieve a good level, and finally no limits now on the second one. So it's not the best, because the second one is the... Who says this? Your ego or the other 10%? Is my ego. It's not the best, but it's okay, it's not so bad. Come on, it's the second in the world. It's 185, Andrea, yes, come on. And then the business and the working part, because anyway I started as a normal freediving instructor, and slowly now I'm able to travel the world teaching my protocols. Now I can say worldwide, because I teach in Egypt when I'm here, in Europe, in Asia, and in the future also in USA. So under the working point of view, I'm really happy and satisfied. And also about the private life, because I'm going to get married in June. Are you going to get married in June 2019? Yes. Wow, congratulations. Thank you very much. Well, the both of you, huh? I guess. Cool, thank you very much. Another question for me is, what do you provide from 2019 on? You just said you have some workshops. I saw that you're in Germany. You said you're traveling around as well. Where will you be in 2019 for workshops? Where can we see you? Because you said you're starting in Egypt again. What was it, February, March? I will come back in Egypt for May. Okay, and, in May. Before May, I will be first in Paris, beginning of January. Then I'm coming to Germany for the boot show, and then I will provide 2 workshops there. Okay. And then February I will take a rest, and I will go in holiday. And after the holiday I will have the expo in Italy, Eudi, and then again several workshops in Switzerland, in France, and in Greece, and then finally coming back here. And where can we find you? Like if I say I want to be in Greece, in part of your workshop? You can have a look, follow me or on Facebook, on my address page, or on the web page that is andreazuccari.com. Okay, on andreazuccari.com, find it as well. Okay, so well, thank you very much, Andrea, for your time and for all this information. It's very giving, as well as my work with you is very giving. So it really helps me a lot, especially for my equalization as well. So thank you very much. Welcome. And enjoy your vacation. Thank you very much. And keep going with your dive training. I do, promise.